What up, YouTube? Three can keep a secret if two of them are dead. It's your boys, Detroit Love, PDubs Arcade Love, Michael B. the Game Genie, and Nostalgia with another episode of the Super Game Room Dudes. Friday night just got live.
Ominous, powerful, electrifying, and morbid. Just another intro from Detroit Love before the broadcast on Super Game Room Dudes. What's going on, fellas? What's going on, chat? It's the Friday Funhouse. Welcome to another action-packed episode of the Super Game Room Dudes. I'm your host, PDubs. With me, as always, Carl, Detroit Love, Nostalgia, and Michael B. the Game Genie. Boys, how are you? And Carl, you want to explain why we are all dressed up tonight? He just got home from work.
I'm not frozen because my screen's moving back there. No, I had a funeral I had to go to, and then took the wife out to dinner. Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers. Looks like Nostalgia and I are having a little bit of Marvel versus DC Battlegrounds action here. What is going on with that Batman hat? Don't you know that it's all about Marvel?
I didn't know that. I also, I just don't think Marvel's where it's at. I think that Batman is the shit. So,
wow,
that's what I represent.
Wow,
my boy Batman.
Make mine Marvel. Michael B, how are you? And how's your life?
Fantastic, man. I'm approaching week 2 off the nicotine sticks. Things are going good.
That's great, man. I'm so proud of you. I am on minute number 2 without the nicotine sticks. And how about a big shout out to Michael B. the Game Genie for being the only man in history who can completely hijack someone's Twitter thread. Isn't that right, Michael B?
Accidentally. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to share my own tooth dentist story. I apologize.
So real quick, while we're waiting for people to join, how about some giggles? So over on Twitter, I had to go to the dentist today. I had an emergency dental appointment. So, on Twitter, I went ahead and I put this stupid tweet up and I was all like, emergency dental visit today. Aren't these the best? Aren't these the best? Right. And I just put this, and then all of a sudden, and then, Zero Hero showing me some support, says it could be a proctologist visit, which got me really scared. And then here comes Michael B with his I'm back with his Terminator 2 Arcade1Up purchase that has nothing to do with dental hygiene. And sure enough, it took over my entire Twitter. No one cared that PDubs was in pain, suffering, had to go to the dentist. No one cared. It was all about Michael B. the Game Genie. So thanks, Mike, for hijacking that Twitter thread.
I meant to share your pain. I had to get a pretty serious filling because of a tooth break this past Monday. So I don't know what happened. I just screwed up. I'm sorry.
Now, did
I agree.
The pain come from your wife slapping you from buying another arcade?
Actually, she was totally cool with it. I got through with. We had a lot of snow over the last couple of days. We had like 3 straight days of storm, 2 days of storm, and we got about 60 plus 65 centimeters of really hard packed wet snow. And I spent the better part of probably about between Thursday and Friday, about 9 hours trying to snow blow my way out. The wheel came off my snowblower at one point, so I had to MacGyver that back on. And when I was done, I just told my wife, I was like, I'm going to the Brick, see if they got any deals. And then I came back with it, and she was kind of cool. I think she was just happy it wasn't a $15,000 pinball machine, so there's that.
Love seeing all the jokes coming in on the live chat. Paul, he's like, that's terrible, P-Dubs, but more importantly, can you tell us if Michael B likes his Terminator 2? Mike, can I add, do you want to wait till the Arcade1Up segment to talk about that? Or
I can do whatever you guys want to do. I feel like I overtalk the other guys a lot, so I can wait, and you guys do your thing.
That was super passive aggressive, dude.
I can't win, man. I'm not trying to be passive aggressive.
Well, as we're waiting for everyone to filter in, and the beginning of the show is always just hanging out and stuff. So, for instance, I noticed for the last week I've had this severe pain on one of my bottom molars, and it kept building and building and building and building. I couldn't handle it anymore, so I called the dentist. I was thinking I had a cavity because I haven't had a cavity since I was like in my 20s. So we're talking close to 20 years is the last time I had a cavity. But I had all this pain, so I was thinking maybe I have a cavity. So, but you want to get in there because if they're going to do a cavity, if you just let it get worse, they eventually have to do a root canal, and nobody got time for that, right? So I go to the dentist, and they take X-rays and photos. Nowadays, dentists actually take photos. They have a jaw machine that goes all around you, like a CAT scan. And they also have like real cameras that they stick in your mouth. And so I'm waiting in there for, the dentist to come in and give me the diagnosis. He comes in, he goes, check this out. You're going to love this. And I was like, what? He pulls up, there's a monitor right in front of you where you could see like all the photos and x-rays they've taken. He goes, here's your x-ray. There's no cavity. I was like, okay. He goes, but check this out. Like he was super excited. And he pulls up the molar, the actual photo they took with the camera of the molar. And on top of my tooth, on the surface of my tooth, you see like a hole here, not like a hole, but like an indentation, right? And then another one here and another one here. He goes, you see those 4 holes? I was like, yeah. He goes, do you know what that is? I was like, no. He goes, you're grinding your teeth. He goes, you're grinding your teeth at night, and you're grinding your teeth so hard that the tooth above that one is literally drilling into the tooth on the bottom. I was like, really? I was like, so what do I do? He goes, we're going to get you a mouth guard. Now, my dentist is a very animated, happy person. So he's very excitable, which makes going to the dentist fun.
Yes,
He's
I
like,
I would be excited too if I just sold you like a $2,000 mouth guard.
Yeah. They're like $500. They're not that bad.
Yeah, but, no, they're a little bit more expensive, the ones that are actually fitted to your mouth.
But I have dental insurance, of course, through my job. So, with copay, my copay on the guard is like $50, but they took a molding of your teeth. That way they can make the mouth guard, and I pick up the mouth guard. It'll be ready like Tuesday next week. But now I was laughing. I was telling my wife, I was like, baby, when we go to bed at night, it's going to be like those movies we watch. We're like, good night, honey, give him a kiss and go to roll over. I'll start shoving stuff in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be hilarious. But that's it, guys. I am a teeth grinder apparently, and I never knew it. So there you go. Luckily, it's no cavity, though. I ain't got time for that.
So I had a similar appointment Monday. I had the back of one of my teeth cracked off, and I had to go get it filled. And I had a similar thing, and the dentist told me, he said, yeah, you grind your teeth. You should go down to Shoppers. They sell mouth guards there. They're like $2.50. And I was like, cool, I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, all right, we got a number of topics we want to talk about tonight, but before we do, we always say hi to who's here in the live chat. If you have been waiting on the edge of your seat, like, dude, it's Friday. I know the Super Game Room dudes are coming on, and if I get a shout out tonight, it would just make my evening. So I know you've been texting your friends. Is tonight the night? Will they say my name? Well, now's your chance. Speak up. Put your shout outs in the live chat if you want to get a shout out. We're going to start reading some names off here of some of these amazing viewers. Read nostalgia. No, oh, come on! I'm not putting that on the screen.
You can put that on the screen. I'm okay with that.
No.
No, absolutely, put that up.
No. All right, let's go. All right, so let's see who's here in the live chat. We got Jim Harper's here. Adam Call. Bo knows Tecmo. JR says, "Say my name, PDubs." Well, we have just said your name, JR. Dr. Freeman is writing prescriptions in the live chat. Frankie D. Pliskin Run. Cyan Spirits. Chaotic BPR, who did a very good NFL Blitz tournament, so congrats on that. Al Lubis is here. Goofy Foot, Paul Minderman, Andy's Game Room, Kurt the Daring, Chris NXNW, Calvin Wong, JJ is here as well. I saw the Tech Buzz is here. He had some smiles in the live chat. Good old friend of the channel, Wagner's Tech Talk is back. Wagner and I hugged it out. Good to see you, Wagner. Love you, my friend. E. Leo is here. Excuse me. Hollywood Polo, JT Bruddick, Meatballs Saucy is here as well. And let's see, we got Scotty James all the way from Australia. 19K Fox is getting drunk in the live chat. Galaga Guy 88, Crazy Old Maurice, Weapon X, and Carl. Oh, I think we got everybody, or as many as we could. All right, chat's off the screen. That way they can stare at our mugs for the rest of the night. How you gentlemen doing? Okay, we want to talk about Nostalgia. You got your handheld, the handheld from last week that we were wanting to show off. You're muted.
We were supposed to do that tonight?
Yeah.
I'm joking. I've got it here.
All right, so we're gonna hold hands and we're gonna show a little bit of handheld action. We'll keep it to a few minutes because Lord knows people panic if it goes any longer than that. But there's a cool new handheld that Nostalgia wants to show off that you don't have yet, but only he has it. So why not show it off and get you guys excited about it? We're also going to talk a little bit about the Princess Bride Pinball, all kinds of Marvel stuff happening in the world, new Fantastic Four, as well as the Arcade1Up X-Men 97 cabinet, and we'll see what else we sprinkle in. We'll see what else we can sprinkle in. So there you go. Also, Carl, Detroit Love, you had something for us, right?
Yeah. I'll talk about some modern gaming.
You want to kick off the show with that?
Why not?
People usually only watch the first 20 minutes of the show, Carl, so we might as well get your segment in the first 20 minutes. No, I'm totally kidding, guys. Actually, we do a lot better than that. But, Carl, I'll share the screen here, my friend, if you want to tell people what we're looking at.
Well, I've been talking a lot about my light gun games, right?
Yeah, pew pew pew
pew. Michael B, getting a Terminator 2, and I know you had the retro shooter Pandora box, right? And I know that Pandora box came with some extra games, right? You had the shooters, but you also had some extra games. But they're more of the retro games, right? Am I right, PDubs?
Yeah.
With your Pandora.
Yeah.
And so when I saw Michael B's Terminator, I'm like, wow, why wouldn't he just get the retro shooter with an image like this one here, where you have all of the latest and the retro shooter games, but also games that you can play with your Xbox controller, like this game here. And I just been having a ball with the shooters, but now this week I really started playing the more modern fighter games. And so I've been having a blast with this. And it just took a Xbox controller. I actually picked up one of the Xbox Elite controllers. They have nice weight to them. They're rechargeable. And so I've just been having a blast, playing the more modern games. Because typically I'm playing on my cabinets behind me, and I seldom sit at the TV. As most of you guys know, I finally got the PlayStation 5 a while back, and I never play it. I literally never played the PS5. But now I'm playing from my computer to the TV and playing some of these more modern games. And I'm really getting a kick out of it. Really, really enjoying those games, because I haven't played any of the modern games until now. I've been playing like Tekken 3. I think this BO has like Tekken 7 on it. So this is the first time in ages that I've played any of the modern games. So I've been enjoying it. And this came along with the Chris Cool Mod drive that I bought that came with the Light Guns games. But he gave you all of the main games and then all of the Techno period, racers, flyers, the fighter games, all those things are included.
This was all on that. This is all on that Techno Parrot drive that you can pick up.
Yes, it's a 2 terabyte drive from chriscoolmod.com, and I think it was like $250 US. He's over there in Canada, I think Quebec. He's a French guy, but having a blast.
Okay. If you want to put a link where people can go for that website, that would be so we could show it off, Carl, in the chat. That'd be great. If people are interested in picking one of these up. So nice to see that Carl had to let his elbows take a break from all the holding the guns up and shooting all the characters. He had to bust some, play some other console games here. So that's pretty cool.
Carl, I was really surprised by your choice of game. What drew you to Dead or Alive?
Probably two things. If I had to guess.
The gameplay?
Yes.
I'll have the chicken breast.
And graphics quality. You know, I like my ladies.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
They don't call me Detroit Love for nothing.
That game has been paused more than Fatal Attraction.
Nothing's been paused more than Fatal Attraction. Nothing.
Oh my goodness. All right, so we'll do Nostalgia's handheld in a minute. Let's go ahead and let's get this quick pinball news bite out of the way. Yes, I saw Michael B posted. You know, he always put in our Facebook group. He always puts whatchamacallit, like, hey guys, tonight on the show, PDubs gets excited about pinball or whatever. Like, you know, you put something funny in there, and you were talking about the Princess Bride pinball machine, and yeah, I was excited until we found out, and we kind of talked about this a week or two ago, that this was going to be a multimorphic pin, which I'm just not a big fan of, right? Not a big fan of, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So this thing has been teased. It's the princesspinball.com. This thing has been teased for months. Finally, we got an unlisted. Check this out. Down here in the bottom corner, it says unlisted, guys. We have an unlisted video, but if you have the link to an unlisted video, you could actually watch it. And it's a trailer for the upcoming pinball machine, but it's, you know, it's a bunch of scenes from the movie. It's actually very well shot. It's pretty enjoyable. It makes me think that, of course, this being one of our favorite movies of all time, there's going to be plenty of great call outs, like, you know, welcome to the pit of despair. You know what I mean? Like, everything you could think of is going to be in this game. They got all the licenses for all the actors, the music, and all that stuff. So it'd be cool to see. But the whole trailer is just fun music and clips from the movie. I'm skipping ahead because if we do it every 3 seconds, they can't copyright claim us. And then this is all we get right here at the end. This is all we get. So The Princess Bride, the next chapter begins February 19th, 2024. I wish we could find out whether or not the sword is included
It's
in
not.
our pinball machine
It's not.
purchase. Wouldn't that be funny?
Do you want a picture?
Nope, I got it. I already am 2 steps
Okay.
ahead of you, Mike. I'm two
All right.
steps ahead of you. So looks like a nice topper and all that stuff. And you know, you got pinball machine. Okay, so you're like, cool. All right, Princess Bride pinball's coming out. What's it gonna look like? Some people love using photo editors to undarken these silhouette images that people put out there. So big shout out to Kaneda. I think it's Kaneda Pinball Podcast. I don't know. He's some pinball dude out there. Well, he's big in the pinball space. I don't know who he is, but he posted this, and then this started trending all over the place. So this is them lightening the image up a little bit so we could kind of get an idea as to what this machine looks like. And it's going to be so hard for the viewers to see. It's hard for us to see, but take a look here. You can kind of make out the Princess Bride logo. And then you can, obviously, we got some characters on the side panel like you would expect. And it does confirm it's a multimorphic pin because you can see the module where this is the real pinball mechanical parts right here. And then the front half of the front half here is a screen.
Digital, yeah.
Digital screen. So
And also,
half
if you
and
look
half.
at the flippers, that's the real give for me.
I can't see them.
Your buttons, the flipper buttons. on
Oh
the
yeah.
side.
Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, we have multiple buttons right here.
Yeah,
Right,
and
flipper and
all the
nudge.
multimorphics, that's what
Yeah.
it looks like. It has that triangle up with the 3 buttons, and then the art is all done to the side like that.
Yeah, and it looks like this is, you know, the back glass just has all the characters on it, the princess and everybody. The topper looks like we have Fezzik right here. I think that's Andre the Giant right here, maybe. It's so hard to make out, but either way, in a couple of days, they're going to do the full reveal. Is the Texas Pinball Festival the 19th? Is that what?
Texas is in March.
Well, isn't there a pinball festival like coming up this week? Maybe they're going to reveal it
Maybe.
there.
I don't know. I'm not a pinball channel. Nostalgia, is there a pinball festival coming up on the 19th?
Not that I know of. I do know that the Texas pinball thing is in March, like you said.
Yeah. And again, this is a quick shot here of what a multimorphic pin looks like, where you have the screen on the bottom, and then you have kind of like the real pinball up top. So this kind of disappoints me because I just wanted a traditional, badass Princess Bride pinball machine. I understand multimorphic is innovative and it's interesting where they're doing their half and half, and you could swap in and out multiple pinball tables, right? Like you could put in the Weird Al, you could go buy the other games, throw it in here, but you know, there you go. So this is just not my thing, man. this is just not my thing. You guys will have to let me know how you feel in the live chat. If you like it, I mean, that's cool. If you like it, that's cool. Don't let me ruin your opinion of it. This just isn't for me where it's like half and half. Like that's just not my jam. So I'm disappointed because we've all been hoping for years to have a fantastic Princess Bride themed pinball machine, and looks like this is what we're getting. But you never know. Maybe you'll play it and love it, right? Maybe not judge a book by its cover. I don't know. I'm trying to talk myself into it.
No, well, that's the thing. I mean, wait and see if you can go play it at one of your local arcades. I mean, you live in a place that luckily you can go play pinball, so hopefully one of your local places get it. Go out and spend a couple bucks, and if it resonates with you, it resonates with you. If not, no harm, no foul.
Yeah. I'm seeing meh in the live chat. I'm seeing disappointing. I'm seeing yuck. That's what you get. Yeah, and be happy I don't have to spend another 10K. Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. I was hyped until PDubs was a total buzzkill. Oh, I'm sorry, Jay. Is Stern Jaws in the wild yet? I think it's showing up at some pinball arcades. Yeah, you might be able to find it. What is that app on your phone? Pin Maps? I think if you use, is it Pin Maps? If D Kong is here, he remembers the name of it. But you could use that app.
Pinball map.
Pinball map. Yeah, that way you can go find out your other one. Oh, you guys are talking about my at games thing. Oh yeah, that's freaking funny. Oh, that was funny. Anyway, so there you go. Before we get into Nostalgia's handheld, let's you guys want to? Did you guys see that? Nostalgia, did you see what happened with my my at games Legends Pinball Adams family?
No, tell me about it.
It's not the end of the world. I'm not gonna like gaslight it, but it's funny. It's funny because stuff happens, right? So let's take a peek here. So I did a video showing off the what do you call it? How to put the graphics on the buy stuff for the buy stuff onto the pinball machine. Hold on, I'm waiting for the ads to go away. And when I did that, I found out that one of my exciters had fallen off of the inside of my pinball machine. So I'm pulling it up right here for you guys now. So, I opened up the control panel. I lifted this up, and you'll notice by my right thumb, the exciter is not in its spot. You see it's in the left-hand side there. So it had popped loose during shipping because I never opened this thing until I was doing this mod. But the exciter itself fell in, and then probably during shipping and transport with bumps and movements, the exciter got wrapped around another wire. So you know what I mean? Like this. So I had to untangle the exciter carefully. Dude, it was wrapped super, super tight because I didn't want to damage whatever wire it was connected to, right? So right here, you see me like trying to get that wire out and unwind it, but it popped right out. And you're like $1,500 machine, stuff shouldn't just pop loose like that, right? Like these exciters, they apparently snap in. That there's a little spike there that you guys may have seen, and they snap in. So now at this point, my suggestion to all of you out there who own an At Games Legends pinball, just because of my own experiences, go ahead and open this up when you get your machine and make sure none of them fell out, because you might be like, where's my little surround sound haptics above my hands here? Where'd it go? It might be on the bottom of the pinball machine, because if it fell out for me, you never know. It might fall out for you. Is it the end of the world? No, I just think they should have maybe put some better adhesive or something in here to hold
a string of tape along the back side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea. It was loose until I lifted the panel, and I was like, "Where's the exciter?"
Oh, did you play with it before you applied?
Yeah, but I didn't even notice because I could, I was playing on I could feel the vibration a little bit in the hands, but I didn't notice that it wasn't everywhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, plus you got the solenoids too.
And you got the solenoid, which, by the way, I see some people complaining about the solenoids, and this is something that we asked At Games. Like, At Games, we want solenoids in these pinball machines.
They're complaining that they added solenoids to the V-pin?
Well, they're too loud or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I think they're great. They're great.
Unfortunately, there's no volume control on a solenoid.
I know, but I'm telling you what people out there are complaining about. Me, I'm like, dude, the solenoids are pretty cool. They're pretty badass, in my opinion.
PDubs, why are you
know?
complaining about the solenoids? You are a huge
I'm
advocate for them.
not.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure it's
not
pronounced
complaining.
solenoids.
Solenoids.
I am not.
Solenoids.
I am
Mike,
not complaining.
Don't you dare teach people how to pronounce words, okay?
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I think they're awesome. I don't think they're too loud. I think they sound very similar to the Cleveland Gaming Software solenoids. In fact, I wonder where they got the way they set up their solenoids. I wonder who inspired them to do that method and all that stuff. You know what I mean?
That was Nostalgia.
What did I do?
You're the one who originally got AtGames to put the solenoids in the front piece of the panel, weren't you?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to do with that game's
You
design or anything.
you made your video.
You made your video with the
Arcade1Up.
Arcade1Up one.
Arcade1Up, yeah.
Right, that's where he got the idea. You tried to sell them to him when you
I
worked
like
there.
Well, hold
And
on,
they
wait a
were
second,
like,
guys.
no.
To be
And
fair,
then they
this
saw you
wasn't...
promoting it on Arcade1Up's cabinet, and they was like, "The heck with that! We're going to put them in there now." Thanks, Nostalgia. See?
Yeah.
I don't even think it was my idea at the beginning. I think it was Buy Stuff Store who I was talking to, and they're like, "Hey, we should move these here and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try them."
Can I ask a quick question about the exciters? Like, one of the complaints with the original ALP, people didn't really like the exciters under their hands. They felt like instead of it being haptic feedback, it was a little farty. I mean, obviously the experience with the arcade control panel got a little bit better. How does this feel?
You're asking me?
Well, I can't ask Carl or Steven. I don't think they have one yet.
Well, in my opinion, now that I have both exciters mounted, apparently I only had one mounted, that coupled with the solenoid going boop, boop, every time you hit the flipper button, to me, it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like a real pinball machine and kind of feels like one too. So.
How loud are the solenoids? Like, do they go off and then your neighbor calls and goes, "I'm sorry, it's just too darn loud"?
They're not bad. They're not that bad. No, it's not like the scene in Back to the Future where they're like, you kids are just too darn loud. No, it's not that. I think some people want to play their pinball late at night, and maybe they're worried about waking their kids up, depending on how their home is set up. But I don't know, man. It'll be 11:30 midnight here. I'll fire up Venom. I don't care.
Shut your bedroom door. Control for those?
So I'm glad you brought that up. So I was actually, because I reached out to Wagner about this, and that Wagner and I had a fantastic conversation yesterday. Great guy, and Wagner and I were talking about it, and I was like, Wagner, didn't you show in the prototype machine that the AtGames solenoids had various settings? They had various settings which would impact the strength of how loud they fire, which could impact the volume, right? And you guys remember when Wagner did his original videos, he showed there were 3 settings. Well, on the actual pinball machine that's been released, that feature's not there. It's not built into the software. And Wagner told me they took it out at the last minute because they didn't feel it did much of a difference, that it was only like a 10 to 15% volume difference. So they took it out of the software. That's what Wagner told me on the phone yesterday. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why people would be, if the solenoid's too loud, you're too old.
So, can Nostalgia, is it okay if I tell a funny story about an arcade that's in the back of PDubs there?
What? I suppose so. Why would
it's
I
similar. It's similar to the story of how PDubs, one of his exciters, wasn't working. So you guys might remember a while back when the Neo Geo SNK MBSX first came out, they were sending around this unit that was going from YouTuber to YouTuber to review. Anyways, they sent it to Nostalgia, and it was like a dead end. So Nostalgia ended up sending it to me. And when I got it, Nostalgia was like, yeah, I really liked it, but the sound on it's really crappy. Like, it has horrible sound. So I went in and found out that the reason that it had horrible sound is one of the speakers was just straight up disconnected. Nostalgia didn't realize. He was like, it's just, the sound is horrible.
I wasn't allowed to take it apart. That was. Do you remember? That was like one of the rules.
Yeah.
You can't disassemble. You can't open it up. You can't look at the insides. And I was like,
but like, what was it? Linus Tech Tips buddy just tore it apart anyways, and he more than likely knocked the cable off.
that's exactly. Did he actually tear it
Oh
apart?
yeah.
Damn it, Linus.
So Jason, in my experience, no. But then again, my little haptics were on the bottom of my pinball machine. So they no, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Even when I hooked the one that fell back up, I didn't notice that. Like Michael B said, the farting, the crazy sound, rattling, and all that stuff. I didn't notice that. So yeah, there you go. That takes care of that. All right, so we're going to talk a lot of Marvel stuff, X-Men 97 from Arcade1Up, and some Marvel stuff shortly thereafter. But before we do, get ready. Grab your popcorn. Get your drinks ready. We are going to excite the holy hell out of you. Nostalgia's got another handheld to show off to the community. Nostalgia, do these handhelds have HDMI out where we can capture the screen?
They have two different ways. This one has USB-C out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do that? You want me to?
Well, that'd be cool because then we can have multiple views of it. And so
And I
what's
got to take
interesting?
my camera off, if that's okay.
So it's
No,
Yeah.
just do it like this. PDubs always does
Yeah.
this, and I love you, PDubs, but it's a handheld. We want to see how it looks like as a handheld.
well, what was funny is the last time we showed off a handheld, because we just have a camera pointed at a screen that we're streaming over a streaming service, not actually rendering it via capture card. People are like, these guys don't see the lag. What are they talking about? Like, dude, we got a camera
Oh, that's
pointed
why.
as, you know what I mean? Like,
We
we're
got-
not
it's-
capturing it.
Even
Yeah,
even if you capture it, I think the output is still 30 frames per second. It's still not going to show
That's
60.
true.
That's
So what
the
does it
issue
matter?
right now.
Yeah.
Is the
Yeah.
first off, I'm using a webcam software,
Yeah.
so it's going to be laggy there, but it is capped at 30 frames a
All right.
second. So
So there you go. There's your disclaimer. And I would also like to disclaim that I had a chicken quesadilla for dinner yesterday.
let me see if this
Okay,
works.
Ray.
I don't know if this will work. Let me see. You guys
Either-
will lose my camera, but
Either you guys ever try Hello Fresh? My wife got hooked into some kind of pyramid scheme for it this last week, and we've had a couple meals sent our way. Been pretty good, pretty interesting, but I just don't see the upside to the price.
Okay, let's see how we can make this look. I got you, Nostalgia. I got you. So this is what the screen captured. There you go. That's gonna be
Oh
a
my
little
god,
bit
why
better.
aren't you talking about the lag?
All right, let me try and change the camera view here. Let's see if we can get
let's see
some.
if we can here push this up to the top like this over Carl. There you go.
Yeah.
So now on the top right, you guys can see. Can you
Yeah.
guys still hear me? Audio's okay?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You sound
Okay, cool.
beautiful.
I wasn't sure if I turned
First off, let's get the disclaimers out of the way. What is this product? How did you get it? Why are we showing it off on this YouTube channel?
None of your damn business. I don't give disclaimers. This is the Anbernic RG556, 556. This is an early release unit. This is still on pre-order. They haven't started shipping. They don't start shipping until like the first week of March. And Anbernic very kindly offered to send me a review unit. So full disclosure, this video is completely sponsored by Anbernic. They are paying us $3,500 each. And
So,
not true.
can I
if
ask
you guys don't each
can I ask
buy
you a
one of these,
question?
I'm going to lose my job. So
Nostalgia, can I ask you a question? When
can.
you say they offered to send you a review unit, did you say, hey guys, I'm really interested in your product. What are the chances of a review unit being sent to me?
no, they reached out to me on this one. So this
Okay.
one, I've worked with Anbernic a dozen times. Like I've probably done 15 of their products. So when they mentioned that this one was coming out, and I said, okay, I'm interested. And then I did follow up with them and said, first they announced it to me mid-January, and then I said, hey guys, before you go on Chinese New Year, make sure you guys send me a copy so I can get an early review in. And they said, no
All right.
problem. And they sent it a couple days right before they went off.
So give us a
Next-
quick
next
tour of the
time, say-
handheld.
Next time, say, hey, me and my buddy Detroit Love wants to try this out.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll have to do that, but then I
Yeah.
got to give more disclosures that not only am I shilling the product, but I'm passing it along to all my buddies to shill too.
All right, let's
Yes.
go. Let's go.
Okay, so this is a 5.48 inch AMOLED display. So of any of the devices that have released in this form factor under a $200 price point, I actually think this is probably the best screen. Its biggest competitor, I think, is supposed to be the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro or the Retroid Pocket 4. And just to give you guys a size difference between the screen, sorry, it's a little bit dusty, but that's what we're talking about in terms of the difference in screen size. So it's pretty substantial. This is $200. This is $175 on pre-order, and then after the pre-order ends, it goes up to $185. Performance-wise, though, this actually is not nearly as good as the Retroid Pocket 4 Pro. So just as a heads up, you're not going to get good performance.
Can we go back for a second?
Yeah.
You said this has an OLED screen?
AMOLED.
What is that? I'm sorry. AMOLED.
AMOLED.
So,
AMOLED. Or
so,
AMOLED.
For people that aren't familiar with this stuff, so what does that mean? Is it an OLED or is it a different kind of screen?
It is an OLED screen.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the abbreviation is off the top of my head, but you effectively get very, very good color contrast on the display.
Yeah.
So very dark blacks, very light whites. The color contrast is good. You can see it better here. Well, you can't really see it on this camera because it's not. It
stands for
great.
Active Matrix Organic Light Emitting
Display. Thank you.
Good job,
Carl.
So
it's a very
most Samsung phones, smartphones.
Yes, it is a very, very, very nice screen.
Thank you.
Yeah. So in terms of performance, I'm not going to go into like specs and all that other stuff. If you guys want to see that, you guys can watch my review. But in terms of performance, this thing is going to be able to play Dreamcast at like 1.5 times, maybe 2x resolution. If you wanted to play PS2, it really struggles with a lot of PS2 games. So jumping into a PS2 title, you're really going to be sitting at around 1x. See if we can get this running. I don't know what I have the
isn't 1 times good?
1x is native resolution. So
I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Yeah. So 1x is native resolution. I currently have this right now. I think this is set to 2x resolution. I can check. So if we jump into our settings and our graphics, so right now this is set to 2x resolution. A lot of games will just not run at 2x resolution. So
interesting.
This, I feel conflicted because the device is quite good. The issue with it is that with the higher end consoles like GameCube or PS2 or even Nintendo Switch, you can't take advantage of the full resolution of the screen. So like you got a full 1080p display, but you can't display in 1080p for those games. That being said, things like Dreamcast or N64, you can run those in 1080p and they look stunning. So maybe I can show that as well real quick. But this is PS2, the game Bully, running at 2x resolution.
Oh. So cool. when you say 1080p, you don't mean stretched widescreen, do you? You mean like
I mean the resolution of the display itself is 1080p.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So let's go ahead and jump. I'll show you guys N64 Dreamcast just because it's super pretty. Sure. Full Android operating system. So effectively, you can go into Play Store, download whatever apps you want. You could download front ends, and you can make it look however you want.
Carl hasn't taken his eyes off the girl on the back of the screen there. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Real quick, Nostalgia. There's so many handhelds. They're all different shapes and sizes. How does this one feel from a comfort level to hold and play for like an extended period of time?
Super comfortable. So I hate how it looks. I think it kind of looks chunky. But if you kind of look on the back here, it's got like grips built into it. Maybe this is a better angle. And it's so comfortable. Like you could sit and play this for hours. Super duper comfortable. It is the build quality though is not super great. So buttons and everything feel okay. The analog sticks feel good. D-pad's acceptable. But the issue is, I don't know if you guys can see it on these cameras, but do you see all the fingerprints?
Yeah.
Now take a look at this. That's just from me touching it right now. I had it wiped completely clean before we started.
Weird.
And my hands are not dirty or anything. It's a fingerprint magnet. So if that bothers you, you're going to be upset with this. Now, what I've seen in some other reviews is that the other color, it comes in a transparent blue as well. I've seen that is a little bit less aggressive on the fingerprints. But the black one, kind of is rough. It's pretty rough. So hold on, let me just make sure that the...
Yep. If you want to just pop on another game just to show them how it runs.
Just going to show you guys the resolution there at 1920 by 1440.
Nice.
And then we will jump over to...
Because remember,
what do you guys want to hear?
We promised them 20 minutes or less. That way they
not ready to rumble? Okay.
No, Ready to Rumble is not a good representation of what the Dreamcast can do. Play something that shows off what it can do. Soul Calibur is always a good one. Yeah, because that has some of the 3D rendered graphics and shit like that. So
Okay.
you're going into Ready to Rumble anyways.
Sorry,
aren't
I've got to get the button mapping done there. Fuck.
There you go.
I'm having trouble here, guys. Give me a
Like
second.
that one.
There it is. There it is. Soul Calibur. We'll get it. It's almost like I've never used one of these before. Here, let me get my fingerprints off the screen. Kind of. Let's get some volume going too. I don't know if the volume's actually going to display because I'm using the USB-C to HDMI out. So I may have to swap this.
It's dark.
I gotta say, so far this looks good. I like the fact that you can actually change the aspect ratio. A lot of the hard drives I've had recently, you can't change the aspect ratio on some of these games. It's really frustrating.
Yeah, you can adjust it. It looks good. You can choose if you want to be fussing with a 16:9 or a 4:3.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, it runs all of the older games, Dreamcast and 64, and everything before that beautifully. Like, there's no game for Dreamcast that I've had any trouble with that wasn't because of the emulator, and there isn't any N64 game that doesn't run at full frames at 1080p.
How's the D-pad for retro gaming? Did you find you're getting any missed inputs, or does it work like it should?
Actually, not missed inputs, but I did notice that there's like false diagonal, so I can actually show that there's a button
Big
mapper. Let me see if I can hop into it. Where's the button mapper?
And honestly, false diagonals happen even with some of the better controllers. Like, even with 8-bit-do, I'll get false diagonals from time to time.
I don't know where my button input here. Is this the one? No, definitely not this one. I gotta find it. I had a software on here that actually like really clearly showed it. I'm just not
we
seeing
believe
it.
you. We believe you, Nostalgia.
But yeah, it was annoying because if you actually pressed down on the D-pad and then you wiggled it, you would see the diagonals get in there, but when you pressed up and wiggled it, you wouldn't. So it was expressly an issue with the D-pad going down. So yeah, I mean it's D-pad's okay. Like, I didn't notice any false diagonals in game. Like, it didn't actually affect anything, and I played some of the...
how many retro games are you playing where the inputs really matter that quickly?
Well, I tested Mega Man, if that helps. So like,
there's not
Mega
a lot
Man
of ducking, not a lot of ducking in Mega Man.
Right. Celeste.
So
Celeste is very precision based.
yeah, maybe.
It's not been an issue. I mean, I probably tested about 75 to 100 games on this thing, ranging from NES all the way up to the more advanced stuff.
Yeah, with Mega Man, did you notice any problems with the ladders or anything like that?
No.
And I'm sorry, Charlie Chuck. I know I'm asking questions. I don't want to watch his review. I just want to get my information here.
Yeah, no, I didn't notice any major issues with input. The D-pad feels good. I would say that it's like a mid-level. It's not the best that I've ever felt.
Yeah.
But it's way better than some of the other ones that I've seen from other devices. So it's a different design than any of the other Anbernic D-pads. This is like a very unique D-pad design out of any of the products that they've released. So I don't particularly like how it looks. It kind of looks just like a little bit chunky. It's super... I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like really shiny, so it like picks up fingerprints. You can see my fingerprints on there too.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, it's not a pretty looking device, but it plays games fairly well. So I would say that overall it's decent. But performance wise, GameCube is okay. Most games play well. PSP was actually pretty good. Running like God of War, Chains of Olympus. I think I had that at 4x resolution, 3x resolution. It played really, really well, and it looked really, really good. Here, I'll see if I can get a save state going. There we go. So you can see in there, if you switch it up, you're at 60 frames per second in the top. Very high resolution. Everything looked and felt pretty good. Gameplay was good. And this is one of those games that is not necessarily the easiest to emulate on a PSP. So no frame skip enabled. Everything is fairly good, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. RG556 Anbernic. It's up for pre-order. If you're interested in something like this, good size screen. I actually think I actually said this in my review. My favorite thing to do with this device isn't even play the retro games. I've actually found that playing like PlayStation 5 or Xbox through the remote play has been probably the best experience in terms of gameplay. And that's just because it's a really big screen. It is an option. Instead of playing it on your phone, you don't have to buy a PlayStation Portal. And this device takes all my retro games on the go, plus I can play any of my streaming consoles. And it does a good job. So,
And
Yeah,
plus,
I
you're,
do have a question.
just 1 second. Plus, you're getting to view those games on an OLED screen as well, which is a big
Yes.
benefit too.
yeah.
Go ahead, Carl. Sorry.
AMO LED. Is this a great handheld to have, say, like if you're like a tooth grinder and you're at the dentist?
No, you know what?
Funny.
If you're a tooth grinder, this is
Come up.
definitely not going to be
You're
one that
funny.
you want to fuss around with.
That was good,
I mean,
Carl.
but you're going to be
Well
in
played.
the waiting room for a while. Would this be a good thing to
Yeah.
have with you to
Well
play
played.
a few games?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look at that. Now we're playing Harry Potter just like that. Very cool. Big shout out to Nostalgia, everybody. This guy always gets his hands on these products early, and for him to bring them on the show so everyone on our audience, as well as us, can get a sneak peek is pretty cool in my opinion. So
That looks nice. I like that.
good job. Good job, buddy. I'm going to bring you. You want to come back on the screen so we can see your handsome mug? It looks pretty cool.
Hey, when
Also,
you're done with that nostalgia, can we meet in Windsor and I'll pick that up?
Nostalgia, how would you grade this on the chunky meter?
it's, oh, did we lose his mic? Did we
Yeah,
lose
you-
your mic?
Yeah, you
Oh.
took me off screen.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. It's a solid 7.5 on the chunky meter.
Is it
Oh.
chunky like a monkey?
It is chunkier than a monkey as far as I'm
Son of a
concerned.
bitch. I actually saw a couple comments there from Charlie Chuck. He was wondering if you could do another 25 minutes on this.
Yeah, I
No.
can do that. If that's what Charlie Chuck wants, then I'm more than happy
Look.
to oblige.
So I don't want to stir up anything. I'm just going to say that, we all have the things that we love to cover and tinker with and play with. So, for example, Carl's really into his stuff. I'm really into my stuff. Mike's into his stuff. Nostalgia's into his stuff. And, this is a team show. And if Nostalgia wants to show off this stuff, I fully support him doing so. And when I see other YouTubers insulting that,
Who's
Sim-
insulting that?
there's been a couple who, they run around
They
screaming
can
and
suck my
complaining.
left nut if they don't like what I
Exactly.
show on our stream.
Exactly.
Can it-
It's
anyway-
like-
Guys, just
the
1 second.
IRK
1 second. This is a big deal. Look who it is. Never appears in the chat anymore. Our good buddy Jamie, who is a dude. Loken is here.
There you go. Anyway, so big shout out. So if Nostalgia wants to show this stuff off, this is great stuff, great content. Thanks so much, Nostalgia. We greatly appreciate it. Mike, let's cap it off with some X-Men stuff here. I gotta mute my microphone because of the damn dogs, because my wife is walking in the door. So go ahead, man, take it away. Oh, wrong one.
I know you guys have been waiting a very, very, very long time for some Arcade1Up news, and we haven't had shit to share with you. But this week, thanks to Arcade1Up incompetence, they somehow managed to leak their own potential cab coming out, tied in with X-Men 97. So it looks like we're getting an X-Men 97 branded Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Deluxe cabinet coming out in the relatively near future. I would assume that I was told there was something coming out around March. Looks like this is it. So look for the official announcement release to come out around the same time the show starts up. So
Mike, can I ask
this
a
is a
question?
co-branded tie-in with the show. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I keep seeing people saying this is a leak, but it was released on the Arcade1Up website. Is it still on the website, or have they taken it down since?
Oh, they took it down immediately. It was a leak. Yeah.
So it was a leak, but it was their own leak.
Yes.
So they published their own leak.
Yep.
Okay, understood.
So are you going to lean into the conspiracy that this is some kind of marketing ploy on them and not just stupidity? Because I can tell you, it's stupidity, not
No,
marketing
I wasn't going to say it. I
genius.
just wasn't sure. Because I keep seeing everybody say it's a leak. But then it was just like posted as a coming soon on their website. So
Yeah, maybe, I guess what a leak means might be a little off in the description. Arcade1Up accidentally posted this early. It was a mistake. They didn't mean to post it. It was a screw up. So then it goes up on their own site. Is a leak when another person shares it? Like, how does that work?
no, usually a leak is when you have a pipe of water and then it bursts in some way and then water comes out of the pipe where it's not supposed to. I think that's probably the most accurate definition of a leak.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what to say then.
Yeah. Or if you really have to go to the bathroom and you start urinating, that's you taking a leak.
Yeah.
That's also another definition of leak. But no, I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's intentional, unintentional, marketing ploy or not. I think that's more or less irrelevant. It's effectively, this is 100% confirmed because it came from the source. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, it's confirmed.
Yeah, correct.
And whether it's a leak or not, what do we think about this cabinet? Does it offer? I've never had one of the X-Men cabinets, so does the game selection, is that better?
Well, Carl, you would assume this is an X-Men cabinet, but there's some X-Men games on it. It's not really an X-Men cabinet. It's a weird situation they're in here because what they've done is they've rebranded Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in a deluxe form factor. A lot of people actually at first were like, oh, cool. I was hoping they would redo X-Men with a 2-player deck instead of a 4-player deck. So it's not an X-Men cab. It's a Marvel vs. Capcom cab.
Okay, so it's effectively an existing cabinet, just a reskinned version of that.
Yes, but not the existing cabinet you thought.
Well, I didn't think anything.
It's the same exact games as the Marvel?
Yeah, as Marvel
exact
vs.
same
Capcom 2. Yeah.
Okay, so this is just another opportunity for someone to buy a Marvels vs. Capcom 2 cabinet without MVC2 artwork, effectively.
Correct.
Okay.
And without any online gameplay issues.
No, it'll have all the same problems.
It still doesn't have rollback. It's still a takeoff fightcade. So yeah,
I find this. I'm actually curious to see like who would be interested in this because this is a very unique situation where the artwork on the outside is completely irrelevant to the games on there. Like
it's the second time they've done this.
What was the other game?
No, they did it again. If you go back to Comic-Con around the time where, it's rumored that Justin got John D. fired. If you go back to that period, they actually released another, I guess it would be called a collab cab, but this is a little bit different because this is a collab cab that's going to show up at retail. But they did a Kith Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet, and it also had, basically unique art on the side.
But did it brand? I don't remember. I remember seeing it. I don't remember what it looked like.
It was X-Men branded as well.
It was X-Men branded.
Yep.
Not Marvel at all.
Nope.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
X-Men and Marvel are the same thing, but it was X-Men predominantly branded.
Well, I'm curious about this because like this is just like a Marvel TV show, right? Like
that's right.
It's very popular. Lots of people loved the animated series of X-Men from back in the 90s. So this is a big throwback to that. But like from a general consumer's perspective, I'm not. I guess I don't connect the dots as to quite who's the demographic. Is this more like a general public, people who don't really care about arcade gaming and they're looking for like a cool X-Men product? Or
I have no friggin' idea. Like for me, I've been pretty open about this. I don't like when Arcade1Up does this stuff. I want them to recreate arcade cabinets. And this is not a recreation. This is a toy product tie-in. So I did my video after it came out, and I was actually surprised. A lot of people were surprisingly receptive to this. Like, but different strokes for different folks. If they like it, cool. But for me, like, I don't see the point. I will say again, I think sometimes we forget who Arcade1Up's end customer is. It's not us. It's whoever they're selling to, whether it be the retailers or their partners or whoever it is. That's who they're selling to.
It's interesting. I actually like the artwork. I do really like the artwork. I'm not a big fan that they just like carbon copied another console or another arcade that they released and just like reskinned it. I would have much preferred to see them like do a combination of like, okay, let's take some MVC2 games from that cabinet. We'll look at the X-Men cabinet, take some of those and do like a combination of those and maybe make there be more X-Men titles than almost anything else on there. That would have been probably ideal.
From a licensing perspective, you know why that's hard, because you're
Yes,
dealing
I
with
do.
different companies there. Capcom,
course.
Konami, Diddy's, Gmode.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's a couple other issues with it too. I mean, like, basically they essentially just took the form factor from Mortal Kombat Deluxe,
Yeah.
stuck a Capcom game in a Midway cab, branded it on the side, and then a lot of people are pretty upset about the marquee. They're like, that's got to be one of the worst marquees that Arcade1Up have ever put out. So I don't know. I don't know with this. Like, I think the only benefit that really comes from this is it's a deluxe form factor for Marvel versus Capcom for people who want deluxe form factors. And according to the video that 19K Fox put up, if the price remains true, a lot of people missed out on Marvel versus Capcom 2 in the US, so they can get it if they don't mind the artwork. And it looks like it's going to be $4.99, so your normal legacy deluxe type price, so it's like $100 cheaper than everybody else play for Marvel versus Capcom 2. Other than that, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't get this. I don't understand this direction. This is more like of a toy tie-in. But if you like it, you like it.
Well,
Why do you keep saying toy tie-in?
Well, toy... I don't know a better way to explain it. This is more the toy side of Arcade1Up than the arcade side of Arcade1Up. That's where I feel I'm going with this.
I gotcha. Well, if Arcade1Up is listening, I'll happily shill this product. Send it my way. I'm more than happy to open it up. I'll shill the snot out of this. And I'll gladly do that. So if they're looking for a golden boy shill, call your good pal Nostalgia.
Look. In my opinion, this is what you like to call the spare parts cab. You know, Arcade1Up had MVC2 PCBs laid around. They had these Midway shaped cabinets, not even a Capcom shaped one, right? Midway shaped cabinets laid around, already pressed, cut. They're like, okay, slap some artwork on it, called it MVC2, tied in with X-Men. Who knows? I could be wrong. I could just be joking. Who knows? But it just feels like it's like a spare part thing that got thrown together. I'm sure someone out there will like it. Someone out there will buy it. But I find it interesting that it's $100 cheaper than what they sell the other MVC2 cabs for, right? So maybe when this thing comes out, maybe they'll drop the price on those $100. I have no idea, but either way, this just feels like a bucket of spare parts, in my opinion. So I'm like, I'll say this: at least they're doing something, but it's just not exciting to me personally. Oh my god, the cats are dropping anchors, ladies and gentlemen.
No. That's my dogs are out having a clip clop party on their little nails.
Yeah. But there you go, Carl. What do you think, man?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of home arcades, as you guys know. I'm a fan of Arcade1Up. I'm a fan of them making cabinets available for people to buy.
Sure.
Again, they're not selling to me that got 13 cabinets in here. They're appealing to the person that's going to want the cabinet for the first time. And from my perspective, it's like you have to try something different to try and appeal to different people, right? You know,
Sure.
Again, they're not trying to appeal to us. If they make something, we're going to buy it. Even if we talk junk about it, in 3 months, Michael's going to have it in the back of his truck saying, look what I got, because he got a great deal on it, whether he wanted it or not. But they're appealing to the people who have not had a single arcade cabinet of any type in their house. And this is the first cabinet they can come across if they're a fan of X-Men. Obviously, X-Men is on the cabinet. It's not the majority games on the cabinet. but that's true with other cabinets that they've made. As long as it matches one of the games that's there, is relevant. But I think keep making these cabinets again. They got to keep filling these shelves up with whatever retailer wants to put these things on the shelves to make them available.
Sure.
As long as they're being made and being released to some retailer, then it's a win for the home arcade market.
Yeah.
So, guys, just to clear things up, Mike D put this there. I didn't realize this, but apparently some kind of X-Men 97 show trailer just dropped, and that's why they made this. I just assumed they just, saw this art on the street and just decided to put this on the cab. So, thank you for the clarification. Mike, yes, we know that.
$2 super chat from Mike D. No, where did it go? From Old Blue Eyes. So he goes, not fans of the X-Men cartoon? Dude, love the original X-Men cartoon. Love the new trailer. Love the new trailer. Don't love this arcade machine. That's all.
Yeah. It's not about us not being fans of the X-Men 97. It's about I want Arcade1Up to make arcade cabinet recreations. That's the stuff I'm interested in. So
it's dead.
Yeah,
I know.
It's dead, Mike. Okay, you're living in the past, buddy. Time to move on.
It's over.
And this
jump
makes
on the
more
choo-choo
sense
train, buddy.
This makes more sense than the Supreme or the Oreo or the China House and all these other cabinets they just threw together and put something. At least it's a relevant cabinet for the series for the Marvel 97 or X-Men 97. So I don't have a problem with it.
It's an interesting tie-in.
I also don't have a problem with it personally. I think that if this is what we got instead of
correct
the Supreme style arcade cabinets, if this is the type of collabs that they're going with, and you just get kind of cool, relatively current artwork, I wouldn't have a problem with that. And I also see that this wouldn't have a problem selling in a place like a Best Buy. Somebody walks past this, they'll see that, and they'll say, hey, I know X-Men 97. That's a new TV show. Sweet, I can play a bunch of old Capcom and X-Men games on this. I'll buy it.
Do you really think that there's a bunch of people out there that will be like, oh my god, X-Men 97, and then just buy anything because the branding's on it?
No, I think a lot of people will look at this thing and think it's cool, and then they'll buy it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do stuff like this. They've done it how many times?
Arcade cabinet. It's not a wallet or a lunch.
I'm not saying this is an impulse buy that somebody's buying while they're standing in line to buy other items, like a pack of gum. Guys,
honey, put back the milk. We got to get this X-Men 97 arcade. This is actually the first time they've done this kind of tie-in.
Mm-hmm. It looks. I don't know. I think it looks fine. I don't think it's what everyone wants, but I think it looks fine. I don't think there's anything objectively wrong with the design of it.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's fine, except Rogue doesn't have an ass.
Well,
so,
I mean, it's an interesting tie-in. It kind of makes sense because they are partners with Disney and Marvel, so Arcade1Up. So it kind of makes sense that they do this, even though it ain't all that great. But when Mike says, "Are you sure there's not going to be X-Men 97 fans in a Best Buy?" The X-Men 97 trailer is the most viewed Marvel trailer.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go out and buy fish head soup because the can has Marvel X-Men 97 on it.
Obviously, but how's that a comparison? This has X-Men on it.
Huge following.
Has X-Men.
Huge.
I don't know, man. That's why cereal companies do their collabs with different cartoons and stuff. You get Pokemon cereal, or you get Spider-Man cereal or Batman cereal, and they sell more because
and who knows how many of these things they're going to make? They might make what? Is this going to be one that they only do a couple of it?
If you go by the website, it looks like it's direct to consumer, which really surprises me because I didn't think Arcade1Up was doing direct to consumer anymore. So we'll wait to see about that. I think it will be at retail. And I think this is possibly a very good reason for them doing it as well. Disney probably wanted it done. They said, hey, we would love a product that really, showcases our new show. And Cyrus said, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is a product for people who expressly want their machines to look like an original machine, but I don't think this is going to be that challenging for them to move some units. I don't think they're going to sell a boatload of them, or it'll be anywhere near a best-selling SKU, but I think they'll sell it.
It makes more sense than the Atari 50th, I can tell you that.
Both of those suck ass. Yeah. Suck absolute ass. Anyways, I think the one selling point about this cab, if it rings true when the official announcement goes out, is the fact that it's a Marvel versus Capcom Deluxe cab for $4.99 as opposed to $5.99. So that's the big selling point right there.
I actually wonder if there's a market of people who would prefer to buy this over an MVC2 themed cab.
Well, MVC2 is a weird one, right? Because you never really got, like, a lot of the Capcom cabs. This is where I'll give them a little bit of a pass on this, because a lot of the Capcom cabs were just conversion kits, right? So they would stick it in HS5, they would stick it in a big blue, or they would just stick it in whatever was available. You get a marquee and then a sticker slapped on the side, of course, the control panel art. So I think some people dig it. I mean, they don't really care about what's on the side. Even the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 arcade they released technically was an art project. The only thing accurate about it was the control panel and the marquee. The rest of it, and the marquee was actually a little bit off too. Everything else was just art project, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think with Arcade1Up, there's 3 different buyers. All right, there's the buyer who just buys it because they think it looks cool. They don't care about the games on it. They're never going to play it. It's a showpiece. Then you've got the buyer who really cares about how it looks. Wait, is that what I just said? Yeah, they only care about how it looks. Then you've got the buyer who only cares how it plays. So they don't buy it based on how it looks. They buy it based on the game lineup that's on there. And then you've got the middle crowd, which is a much smaller market that cares expressly how it looks and that it plays well. And I think that this is going to be more for somebody who cares specifically, I would say specifically about how it looks, in the sense that it looks like a cool cabinet as a display piece. The games on it are good, but I don't think that somebody's buying this expressly to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2, right? Like,
so you think it's just going to be a big, like, X-Men 97 fan? They're like, oh man, I love X-Men 97.
I don't necessarily think specifically X-Men 97. I think it'll be like X-Men in general, retro X-Men, because it is X-Men 97 artwork, but the artwork is very similar to like the animated cartoons.
Cyrus, if you're listening, honestly, just talk to the people at DC. Put Batman the Animated Series, or for some reason the Dark Knight on it, on something stupid, something horrible, whatever game you can't sell. Nostalgia will buy them all. His basement will be littered with Batman Arcade1Up cabs.
If
we did put
Arcade1Up released a Batman cabinet, I might be interested in buying that. So
we did put a poll in the live chat. Are you interested in the X-Men 97 Arcade1Up at $499? We got 96 votes in, 97 votes, and it's overwhelmingly 85% of the viewers who responded said no. 15% said yes. So that goes to show you that some people will buy it. A lot of people won't. I mean, that's the story of everything. So
yeah, it's like when I first saw Atari 50th and I talked to Arcade1Up, I was like, I don't think the community's going to like this. And they were like, don't you know Atari wanted this cab? I think it's the same kind of situation here. I think that a lot of people in the community are going to be disappointed, especially after, no CES, waiting for an announcement. And then this is probably the first thing we're going to see. And I think it's more so that, this is what Marvel Disney wanted. So.
Yeah. I don't know, Leo. We I think we've said like 10 times that this cabinet's not going to be popular. I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. This will be their best-selling SKU that's ever released. This is going to be as successful as their baby.
Now
cars.
I think you're trolling us, Nostalgia. Now I think you're trolling us because this thing is DOA. It's a spare parts cab, in my opinion.
No, you guys are wrong.
Threw it together. They threw it
Mark
together,
my words.
put a sticker
Look,
on it.
Honestly, guys, there are people that want it. I was surprised too. It was in my
Toxin
video.
wants it. I like
Yep,
Toxin.
and Chaotic BPR, he says he's picking it up, checks all the boxes. Some people
Punisher,
don't give a
no
shit
buy.
about this, right? Oh yeah, I am so pissed off about that with Punisher. Like the fact that they took Punisher off these cabs, kills my interest as well, because that was the best game on Marvel superheroes. I'm so gutted that it's not there anymore.
You guys don't understand where this is going.
I would have loved to have seen the superheroes redone as deluxe. That was a beautiful cabinet. Make it deluxe.
Oh yeah, they did a really good job with superheroes.
This is what I'm saying. It checks all the boxes of different parts bins.
See, I think you guys are just missing the bigger picture. This is going to be a wildly successful release. As far as I'm concerned, I think this is going to be
excited about this one.
It's going to be their best release yet. And then what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, if we take TV shows, Disney TV shows, we skin our machines, we can sell a bunch of games that we got extra parts on. So next we're going to get an Eternals cabinet, because that's been a wildly successful Marvel movie. And they're going to put
Eternals
like
was an absolute disaster.
Right.
Yeah, no. What are you talking about? It was one of the greatest Marvel movies ever released.
You know what this is all leading to? This is all leading to Nostalgia wanting to tell us about the value of this arcade. Tell us about the value, Nostalgia.
The value is incredible. You're going to be able to get a brand new Arcade1Up cabinet with how many games? Someone tell me. I don't know how many games. Eight games.
2 of which are console games. 2 of which are console.
Tell me the value, Nostalgia. Why should I open my wallet?
With 6 arcade games and 2 console games.
So here's the thing.
6 arcade games.
You get not 1 game, not 2, not 3. You get 8 incredible Capcom titles.
Arcade games.
Irrelevant.
2 console.
Mike, irrelevant. What are you talking about? A game is a game is a game is a game. And you get some pretty sweet artwork. X-Men 97, beautiful. And like I said, this is just the gateway drug. This they're going to put this out. They're going to sell 35 million of these cabinets just in one state. Just in one state. In the state of Florida.
In one state.
They're going to sell this.
So
in one state, 37 million. Then, like I said, then they're going to move on to Eternals. Then they're going to do Captain Marvel, because that's also an incredible Marvel movie.
So I'm really looking forward to this year's release of Mortal Kombat that has the new movie's art all over it.
Why would they put the Mortal Kombat movie on that machine? That's stupid. They wouldn't do that. They're going to put the Mandalorian art on that. So it'll be a Mandalorian.
Mandalorian Mortal Kombat. No, but
right.
I guarantee you they'll do some movie tie-in for Mortal Kombat. They'll release a Mortal Kombat cab this year, and it'll be tied into that new movie with Carl Urban coming out of
You're not getting an Aladdin cab.
Listen, if I try hard enough, anything's possible.
All right.
I'm actually not as interested in Aladdin as I want a Lion King. Get me a Lion King cabinet with the SNES ROM in there, and that is what will sell.
Well, what I'm waiting for, I'm honestly waiting for, it is racking my brain for Michael B to make these arguments. Michael B, can you please explain to me the value of getting that T2 cabinet you just picked up? I'm just trying.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about that?
I want to understand that move. Please explain to me.
I agree with Carl. Let's end the show with the story as to why Michael B just bought an Arcade1Up Terminator 2 arcade in 2024
with 1 game on it,
and hijacked my Twitter post about it.
So, Carl, your argument is invalid because not everything is about how many games I can fit on it. You're a multicade person. You like getting multicade. You like sticking as many games on it. You've got multiple cabs there with multiple games on it. I wanted to play T2. I wanted to have the artwork. My daughter missed T2. The Brick had mispriced their T2 cabinet there. I went there to find out if they had a cab actually there, and if they would honor the price of the cabinet on the floor, which was 40% off. They said they would, so I took it home. I'm in a bargain hunting mode right now. I'm building up my arcade a little bit, and if there's deals out there for stuff I like, I'm gonna get. I miss T2. When I sold my original one, I only sold it because I had someone actively asking me to sell it to them. The other thing is I missed out on the update where they took away the softening filter, which was my biggest problem with the cab. So I'm pretty excited to have it home. My daughter was thrilled. She was like, "Oh my God, we get the guns, we get to blow stuff up again." So I'm looking forward to it.
You're saying you bought this again for Scarlett?
No, I bought it again for me, but Scarlett was upset. Scarlett was upset I let it go.
Yeah.
Mike, can you tell me?
Are you excited about having to put this together again?
I actually, to tell you the truth, I bought it from the Brick, and the only problem with the Brick is you only have 48 hours to identify if there's something wrong with it. So there's no dicking around. You got to get this thing home, get it built, and put it through its rigors right away because you only got 48 hours. If there's anything wrong after that, you're SOL.
Mike, tell me that at least when you get this thing, you're going to do at least the retro shooter mod or the upcoming mystery encoder T2.
I might do the mystery encoder because because like that was one of the things Mystery Encoder was mad at me for because I sold it, so I couldn't do it. But I might do that. But I don't have any interest in doing the Mystery Encoder at the retro shooter. If I'm gonna do the retro shooter stuff, I already have a Sinden. I know how to play ROMs on my PC. Wouldn't I just play stuff on my PC?
Because then you're not playing it in an arcade form factor. You're not going to get that whole arcade experience. It's not the
What
same,
arcade
Mike.
experience? What? It's not this.
It's much closer to play on one of these than it is to play on just a computer screen in your computer.
Yeah, but that's if I
Wrong.
wanted to.
Wrong.
T2 for the helicopter. I can do my double gun. I'm excited. And guys, I got a great deal on it. So
yeah, I agree with Jamie. Next week, Frogger returns to Michael B's house. I think the addiction. What I personally feel, I think the addiction has. You gave up cigarettes, and now you need to fill that void with something else, and it's going to be arcade one-ups in your house again.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry if you guys don't like T2. I like T2. I like the cab. I missed it. It was a great deal. I'm happy to add it back to my collection. I'm building up my arcade again. So
if you guys are excited for Michael B, give him a 1 in the chat. If you guys think Michael B's out of his mind, put a 2 in the chat.
Mike, can you at least answer me this question? You purchased T2 originally? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Then you sold it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you bought it again.
Yeah.
Did you at least buy it for less than you sold it for?
Yes.
So you haven't paid more than you originally paid for the machine when you combine the two?
Correct.
Good for you. That's at least a step in the right direction. I'm still disappointed in you.
Oh, let me be very clear here too. Anybody that's got a problem with me buying this, because I did get some really shitty comments on my post that said I'm back and people saying craziness. Listen, guys, I do not care. Like, if anybody thinks I'm buying this to try to support Arcade1Up, Cab's not even in print anymore. Like, you can barely buy it anywhere, from what I understand. Like, I'm not trying to help anybody. My motto for 2024 right now going forward is do what makes you happy. I wanted T2. It was a great deal. I bought T2. You know what you guys should do? Do what makes you happy.
No.
If it's play games on a multicade, if it's, go out and get something to eat, just go do that.
No.
Opportunity
don't do that.
missed, Mike. Opportunity missed, because I really thought you were going to go, I got T2 because it makes me happy. You know what you should do? Go buy T2. That's what you should have done. You should have shelled it. Oh, that joke.
See, Charlie Chuck likes Addicted to Arcade1Up. See, the funny thing is, Charlie Chuck actually predicted this in our Arcade1Up Canadian group chat today. He said, I predict Cheesy B's going to come home with a T2 today. And I already had it bought at that point.
There's a group chat of Arcade1Up fans?
Yeah.
So it's a Canadian Illuminati?
It's a Canadian Illuminati. Actually, everybody's really pissed off at Arcade1Up right now. I don't think anybody likes Arcade1Up anymore, except for me and Conti. That's about it. Yeah. Everybody hates it. A tool.
You have your Sinden gun. Have you played Terminator Salvation yet on your PC?
No, I haven't. I'm going to, though. I got really interested in it. I actually found out about this. I just played RoboCop. And it's done by a company called Treon, I think it is. They actually did a Terminator Resistance game, too, a couple of years ago, and that looks pretty badass as well. So I've got that on my watch list on Steam. I'm waiting for a sale because it's still like $50.
Well, I can say that anytime the only time I've ever bought a duplicate Arcade1Up, and what I mean by duplicate is an arcade that I maybe purchased in the past before was mostly for modding projects, because do you know how many times I bought Arcade1Up's Gen 1 Street Fighter 2? You guys have no idea, because I used to build those and do the ETA Prime mod and sell those on Facebook Marketplace, right before I even started doing the YouTube stuff. So what's funny is but I've never gotten rid of one and bought it back. Although the one that always tempted me, and I have told people 100 times this, is the Final Fight arcade. I for some reason I really like those 4 games on that arcade. And then the only other one I regret is getting rid of my original Golden Tee, because the XL sucks compared to the original.
I don't like the trackball on the XL. Honestly, of my XLs, the only one I'd turf at this point is Golden Tee. It's a great looking arcade, but that trackball just makes me want to kick the shit out of it. I hate it.
So right here, Jim Harper capping off the show. He says he knows it's not popular, but he got the Fast and the Furious. He thinks it's a ton of fun. He got it over the holidays. There you go. Maybe that's what it's all about. Maybe if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. But we can still entertain you and make fun of it, right?
Oh, you can make fun of me all you want. I had so many people message me, and they're like, "What is wrong with you? Why would you buy?" That's what everybody's upset about, because T2. The biggest comment is why it has one game, and I'm like, I have lots of multicades, guys. I have lots of ways to play multiple games. I just want to play T2 with the
Why are you
nostalgia.
bragging so much, dude?
What?
You're such a bragger.
There you go. All
And
right.
where,
Well,
where
that's
did you end up putting this thing at? That's what I want to know.
Jason, Little Alien, our moderator, my moderator too. I talked to him a while back about this. I mentioned on my Chill and Chat show, I'm taking back half of the storage room that used to be my arcade, so I'm getting half my arcade back. So I've been waiting until my ALP 4KP shows up, but all my multicades are coming back up here. The XLs are going back down in that arcade, and I'm bringing in a couple other titles. I got Street Fighter Deluxe coming on Tuesday. I got Terminator coming, so I don't think I'm going to buy much more right now. Like, I'm kind of bargain hunting. Might get an MK Deluxe, but there's not much else out there I want other than that.
So that's going to be your shield room.
What? Yeah, that's going to be my shield room.
This is mostly true, actually.
all right. Well, guys, let's put a pin in it, man. I want to go spend some time with the wife. Do us a favor, guys. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, give us a thumbs up on the way out. Subscribe to the channel. Also, leave your comments, feedback, show reactions after the show is over. We do read all the comments and try to respond to as many of them as we can. Carl, whenever you're ready, send them on their way. You guys have a great weekend.
Before he does,
What?
one more thing, super important.
What?
Arcade1Up is releasing a product very soon. It is an X-Men 97 cabinet. I believe it's going to be one of the best products they've ever released in their history of the company. It's going to sell more units than every single one of their other arcade cabinets combined. There's no question. And they're all going to sell in the state of Florida. And that's it. And that's all they need to do. And then we're going to get lots of other blockbuster titled themed machines. Like, I don't know.
Nostalgia, tell them if they don't buy it, they're going to be ass out. Tell them they're going to be ass out.
If you don't buy it, you'll straight up be ass out. That's it.
Carl, send them on
but
the
if
way.
you don't buy it, we're never going to get our Daredevil Pac-Man cabinet. So,
Guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you as always. And until next time, we'll see you on the web.